Hey, what's up, Jonathan? This is going to be a quick demo video for you for your Solo Saber Scraptec. Thank you for your support on this run. You got the crystal chamber add-on as well, and there is a lot going on with this saber. So as usual, we're going to go over my desk and take a look at this and then get it out in the mail to you tomorrow morning. Thanks, man. Hey, what's up, Jonathan? This is going to be a quick demo video for you for your Scraptec saber. Thank you for your support on this run, and then for further supporting the crystal chamber add-on that I designed for this guy. So this is all weathered up. The brass, the steel ring here has been heat treated, the aluminum, some scuffing on the black anodizing just to match. I went a little bit heavier in the middle just because I kind of feel like that's where your hand would be. It's a 2-button setup. Underneath the clamp card, you'll find your power up here. You'll feel it. It's a nice tactile feel. And then back here is your auxiliary switch. All right. You've got an OLED screen right here. I do have a piece of red diffusion right in front of it. You've got a 10 pixel accent strip right here. The main crystal chamber for the chassis has its own crystal chamber. All right. Or its own crystal rather, that lights up. And then to get to your chassis, you just want to unscrew the handle. So it should come right off here. All right, we'll take that off. You've got 2 chassis retention screws, one here and one here. So you'll never mess with those, but this is your chassis. So making our way down this way, this is your crystal chamber. This is printed in brass and it's been weathered to match the saber with its own crystal. All right. Coming over here, you've got a red carbon fiber chassis. It just says Solo Sabers over here for me, and then it says Scraptec over here in Arabish. All right, an 18 pixel accent strip here, another one right here. These two are wired in unison with each other, so they act the same way. That way you can get shine through these 2 slots in the handle. All right, a 28 millimeter Smuggler's Outpost Elite speaker, a removable battery setup. So how I put the battery in here, I just kind of rest it in here, and then you kind of want to cradle the chassis and then snap it in there. Just kind of, as you're snapping it, it takes a little bit of force, so you just kind of want to make sure you're supporting that chassis in a way. All right, but it snaps in there nice and tough. You've got your Proffie here. It is glued down, but access to your SD card and your micro USB from here with a kill switch right in front of the board. This is running the Scraptec font from my dude Keenan over at KSith. So when you boot up this saber, you'll see KSith's OLED logo right here. And then when you turn the saber on, it flips over to mine. But there's a copy of the config file on the SD card. Quite a few blade styles going on, but I labeled each blade style so you can see exactly what they're doing. All right, so we'll turn this on.
I hate it here.
So that's a random boot up, but I have been getting it every time I've done a demo for somebody, so it's not going to do that every time. If we turn it off and back on, so you might get that one. All right, so there's KSith's logo. You can see your 2 crystals, each doing a little something different. All right, got this main one doing something a little bit slower, and then this one doing its thing, just to have a different contrast. If you look over here, you've got this OLED, or this strip is doing its own thing, and of course these 2 are wired in unison, so if you can see them on my hand, they're acting the same. Okay, and then when we turn it on from here, that's when it swaps over to my logo. Your crystals here kind of match the blade. The animations here changed up a bit. And I made this one blue. I just kind of like the electric look when the saber was on. And you've got twist off. All right, we can go take the handle. It will go right on for you. When you lock it down tight, you can see your LEDs through this side and then through this side as well. All right, turn on. Pommel wide open for sound, so everything is shooting out of there. You've got a KR Sabers Eco V4 lit PCB in there. And then this is your blade retention. So what you want to do If you can see that, it's sticking into the blade socket a little bit. My apologies for the camera work. This is a long saber. It's longer than the height of the camera, so I'm trying to angle it in there, but you can see it in the blade socket. So we'll just twist it until it's out of the blade socket. You don't have to take it all the way out. And this is made for a 7/8 inch blade. All right, so like I said in my last video, which you may not have seen because it didn't pertain to your particular saber, so I won't hold it against you that you didn't watch it, but that hole in the emitter is exactly 7/8 inch in diameter. It is pretty common on the end of a 7/8 inch blade for it to be bowed out just a little bit because you got to press that PCB holder in there. Let me take the blade out and show you. All right, so right here is what I'm talking about. All right, so you might have to do a little bit of sanding. This was a brand new blade at first. Before I started doing the demos for this guy, I went to the garage. I used a 240 grit sandpaper right here, and it took me about 3 minutes to get it to where I wanted it to be. All right, so it doesn't take very long at all. Or you may luck out and have a blade that doesn't need any sanding, but mine did. All right, so we'll go ahead and put the blade in all the way. Come over here and lock it down. Hit power. This is a custom blade style that was made for this sound font. My buddy Brian Connor made this particular blade style. All right, so it does have a little bit of dip in the blade. You won't see it very good on this because it's programmed for a full-length blade, and this is a shorter test blade. But eventually you'll hear a dip in the hum of the actual saber, and when you hear that on a full-length blade, you'll see the blade on a full-length, yeah, right there, act like it's going to shut off. It'll dip to about halfway, and then it'll shoot back up. All right, so that's all on purpose. All right, so blaster bolt deflex, blade lockup, that's the battery meter. I need to charge my battery, and then
Scraptec.
of course it just says Scraptec if you were to hit auxiliary to go to another font. All right, so when you're done, loosen that up, pop your blade out. I'm going to tighten that back up. We'll come back over here, unscrew the handle. All right, we'll turn the saber on and flip it off with the kill switch. Very easy to do. Now you might need a tool to come over here and get this battery. Pop it out like that, and you're good to go. All right, so we'll go ahead and put the handle back on for safekeeping. But that is basically how you operate this guy. So hopefully it's kind of a smooth, simple operation. The install itself was pretty unique and involved, but tried to make the usability of the saber very easy to do. So let me know if you have any questions. I will get this out in the mail to you first thing tomorrow. Thanks, Jonathan.